Hi, you guys. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to be sharing my testimony about how God has blessed me um, and my kids with a new house. Hi, just a quick one, you guys, before we watch the rest of the video. So I want to invite you to join my school community, SKOOL, called Christian Mums. So it'd be amazing if I could connect with Christian mums. So join me in this school community. The link is in the description down below. So just a little bit of a backstory, like I don't know how way back I'll go, but basically, I'm a nurse by profession. So I've not worked as a nurse now in about a few years, maybe 3 years, 4 years. And basically, as you do, if you're not working anymore in your normal job, you have to find some sort of income, right? So for me, in my situation, I own with my husband a four-bedroom house, our house before. So basically, we rented out our house, our four-bedroom house. So it wasn't like all of the bedrooms because I was living in the house with my two kids. My husband wasn't staying in the house because he needed to work as an agency nurse. So he had to find work in hospitals that weren't local to us. But basically, yeah, that was the income, the rental income. And so what happened is, so the house we had been living, so the old house, we had been living there for 9 years at that point. And it's your typical UK house, that's like old, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, most of the old houses, they're like 1930s built, somewhere along that time era. And so basically, um the house, yeah, so basically, the house is, in 9 years, like, it gets old. We have admittedly done a lot of work on the house, like we had a double story extension done, we had work done on our kitchen, we changed the whole garden, we had our driveway done. Um we we did a ton of work on the house. But the thing is, in recent years, like, in in the last 3 to 4 years, we hadn't had um like much work. So what I was saying is that in the past 3 to 4 years, we hadn't had much work done on the house. And so the house mostly had been utilized by tenants. And what tends to happen with tenants is, as you can imagine, you don't need to be a homeowner to understand this, but they don't really take care of the house as well as you do if you own the house. And so what happened is, there were like plumbing issues, there were like certain leaks coming from uh the bathroom, the tenant's bathroom upstairs, and then it leaked um to the ceiling of the downstairs bathroom. And so, just like other things, and also like the ensuite toilet as well, in the master's bedroom, I suspected also had a leak. So there was like all these various things. There were like, recurring problems with condensation on the wall. And so there's all of these like things that I can see, that I know from experience of owning a house, like what I said, 9 years owning the house, like, it's expensive, and you can almost like calculate it in your mind. Like, in my mind, I would be calculating, like, it would take like the this amount, like, roughly, you can only like make up a rough estimate in your mind of how much cost it'll be to repair a certain thing, like the plumbing costs and maybe plastering, maybe painting, like all these things and everything to like open up certain things to like fix it, like the plumber would need to like, I don't know, maybe take out certain floorboards to be able to access to the things that they needed to repair or like fix, so all of these things were in my mind, and I really had to make a decision. And I definitely know that this was the Lord. Like at that time I didn't fully see it, but now looking back, I can say that it was the Lord like downloading these revelations in me to say without me knowing fully that it was him. I just thought that it was me, that it is going to be expensive if you stay in this house, so something's got to change. And so yeah, so basically the Lord said to me, I remember it clear as day, earlier earlier this year, the Lord said to me, sell the house. And I was super shocked because I'm like, I did not expect that. Um, so and so basically, yeah, I now go on this journey of like researching, okay, what am I gonna do to sell the house? And so I now contact estate agents. I don't know these things. I'm just figuring it out as I go along. So I contact like two estate agents online, and they immediately like have time to book an appointment to come to the house and do what they call evaluation. So the first um, the first estate agent that I meet, he gives me like a price for the house. And so basically the price that he gives me is for 460,000 pounds for the house. That's his valuation. Maybe like 480. Um and you're probably thinking like wow, that's a lot. And it's true, like it's a good price, but at the same time, like you have to like be discerning and use wisdom, and not just like take like whatever number is given to you. Like you have to also know like how much you think, based on how many rooms are there in your house, like how much work have you done in your house, how many bathrooms are there in your house, like what kind of improvements have you done to your house. Does your house have solar panels? Like all of these things can add to the value of your house. And so, me deep inside, it's quite interesting because when I would pray to the Lord specifically about this, He told me, um, it's it's going to be sold for 500,000. And so I was having this back and forth with that estate agent where I was saying to him, like, I would want it to be valued because of the number of bedrooms that the house has. It's near the tube station. It's a 5-minute walk to the subway for people who don't know what the tube station is. So it's very like easy to get to central London. Like you get to central London from our house, 5 minutes walking to the tube station to go to like London Bridge, these kinds of places in 30 minutes. You're there. So it's like, that is a big plus. Then all of the work that we've done on the house, all of these add to the value so much. And if I would be looking at similar houses, they're sort of priced around that range. So I said to the estate agent, like, I think based off of these facts that the house should be valuated at 500,000, but he said to me, like, um, I can agree with you, and that's fine because it's your house, and at the end of the day, like I'm just helping you by giving you a valuation. But I do feel like it's gonna take longer for it to sell. That's what he said. And so, like for me, like I had to like think about that. And like as you do, like after that appointment, I said to the estate agent, the first estate agent that I had an appointment with, I'll get back to you, you know. So I met with a second estate agent, and he said to me, when he came to evaluate the house, because basically what happened is he came by quickly and I couldn't have um, the full appointment with him because I had the appointment already booked for that, the first estate agent that I had the proper appointment with. So he was like, I already told him anyway. Like, I told this specific estate agent that I'm only going to meet you for a few minutes. I do have a proper appointment with another estate agent, but if you don't mind, you can come back at another time to have the full appointment. And he said, yeah, like that's fine. So he comes back at a different appointment so that we can properly discuss. And he said to me, like, the house will sell for 500,000. And I'm like, I said to the estate agent, like, I think, are you delusional? Even though, like, I knew in my heart, like, I knew deep inside of me, like in my spirit, that that was the amount that I knew that the house was going to be sold for. And I just thought, like, this man is like, also, he might be borderline delusional, but I'm gonna just like come into agreement with his like he's not a Christian from what I think, but I'm just gonna come in agreement with his faith. Like if he has faith to believe that it'll be sold for 500,000, then okay, let's go with that. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. So yeah, we put it, like what I did is I did think about it for a few days. Like I ruminated about what the first estate agent said, and this guy called Adam, who like also like came up with this number of 500,000. So I prayed about it to the Lord. The Lord said to me to go ahead with this Adam guy, who I was getting the peace of the Lord. I was getting that go signal in my spirit to go with this Adam guy. you know um it was gonna be like maybe just 1,000 pounds, or maybe like 500 pounds more in terms of the VAT payment, and plus the estate agent fees for going with Adam compared with the other guy. But I'm like thinking in my mind, like the other guy was only giving me a valuation of like 470, 460. So it's like 40,000 pounds less. Okay. So like what's 500 to 1,000 pounds more that I'm gonna pay this other estate agent, and so I go ahead. So I sign the contract to go ahead with this guy, Adam. We put, like, so basically you hire a photographer, the photographer comes, he takes photos of the house, and then the house like goes live on websites, um to be seen, by potential buyers. And so basically the house goes live in the first week. Like in the first week we have eight people eight people who want to view the house. And it's like there's just a lot of interest for some reason. And even the estate agent said this to me, like, this is not really that usual for the price that you have put out for the house to be sold, like for this amount of interest. Now on the second week, there's now 11 people who are booked to view the house. Okay. And yeah, so basically a man came, pressed the doorbell. He didn't go through the estate agency. He just saw pictures of the house. And basically when you when you put your house up for sale on a property listing online, they don't, for obvious reasons, they don't put up the exact address of the house. Like they put in the avenue and like, just the borough, but they don't put in the exact home address. And that's for like safety reasons, like, and also so that people can go through like the proper process of contacting the estate agency, booking an appointment, for them to come and view the property, stuff like that, just your normal SOP. But this man was like, he saw the name of the avenue, and he just probably like tried his luck, like to go to the avenue and look at houses on um the same avenue. And like he just thought to himself like, okay, let me just look around. So he just eyeballed the house. He wasn't even sure that that was the house. So maybe he saw on his phone on the website that it looked like the house, so that's why he pressed the doorbell and he tried. So, look at God. And so he came to the house. He did not even see all of the rooms in the house. Because I wasn't expecting him. Um I I wasn't able to inform the other tenants that somebody was gonna come and see the room. And even like with my tenants, like all of them did not know that I was even selling the house. Like I just had to tell them that I needed the room for a few minutes. Like I would tell them when they were off at work, or when they weren't in their rooms. So it wasn't even something that I completely, was transparent with them. And it wasn't because I was intentionally keeping it from them. Like, no, that wasn't the reason. Like, the reason was like, I just want to like get the ball rolling. Obviously, if it needed to come to that point, I would tell them, you know. But some of my other tenants, the ones that have been with me longer and who I trusted, I did tell them. But basically, like back to the guy, the potential buyer who came, he saw only some of the rooms. He went to the kitchen and he said, I want to buy the house. And I'm like, are you okay, sir? And he said, yes. And like he he gave like a smaller amount, like to try and haggle. And I get that, but I was firm. I'm like, the price, sir, is 500. Okay, it's not gonna go lower. And so, a little bit of back and forth, but he did, he said, I really love the house. And the next day, which was a Monday, he put down his offer on the table for 500,000. So we get the house sold. Basically, like, just to fast forward a little bit, um I now am in a difficult situation, because what I need to do is I wanted to buy another house. And the house that I wanted to buy specifically was a new build, because the Lord had promised me, and had confirmed to me many times, the scripture in the book of Isaiah, behold, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? And I knew this to be in relation with the house that I was going to move into. And so what happened is I always wanted like that the next house that I would move into to be a new built house. Like I just wanted it to be new. I didn't want it to be old. Like, we had like so many good memories in our old house, but I'm like, Lord, I want to try living in a brand new house. So um basically I prayed for that. And um so now I'm selling the house. I go into this process of looking for a house. And I kid you not, like the place that the house was is in a place called Trinity Fields. And like for me, it instantly like is highlighted for me, like Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I mean, like for me, like it has God written all over it, like it's the hand of the Lord. And this house that I was eyeing on was about a 2 hour drive from where our old house was. So it's a bit far. So it's really like um it's a move of faith because it's not somewhere where I'd imagine I'd live in. It's out of London, which was something that I already prepared myself for because I wanted to buy like um a house. I And this house was a detached house, and so I wanted to try that as well, like try and have a house that's detached, because the old house that we had was a mid-terraced house. And what that is in London, because of space and it, for obvious reasons, is very expensive. Houses are like together, and you call that mid-terraced when they're like just like pasted together. How else can I say it? So I wanted to be able to have like this experience of buying a house where it wasn't like pasted to another house, like it's just on its own, which is what you call a detached house. So yeah, basically I look at houses. I'm looking for houses and I'm not even sure that I'm going to be given a mortgage offer. But this is just all by faith. I make an appointment. I come down to see the house with my kids, and we just like we see this particular one particular house out of like five houses that we see. And it's like you just feel the Lord nudging, it's this house. I go now on this journey of trying to get a mortgage offer, and basically like the income that I would need to provide would be from the self-employment income that I've been getting. And for people who are self-employed, who want to buy a house, they understand this, that it is so difficult. It's so challenging for a bank to loan you money, to give you a mortgage offer, to say that they're happy for you to be given a mortgage offer if you are self-employed. They scrutinize your income, your ingoings, your outgoings, your expenses, so much more than if you were in a full time employment position. So it was just like there was just a lot of rejection. Like I think I had three um, lenders, like lender banks, reject my application with my together with my husband, this joint application that we were making to buy the house, to have a mortgage offer. And so like it was just so difficult, but like it's only the Lord. And I kept praying. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 20, to him was able to do exceedingly abundantly above all I can think, ask, or imagine, according to the power of the Holy Spirit that is working on the inside of me, to the glory of the Lord Jesus. So I kept believing. And, we started this process like around, I'd say March, like early March or the start of March. And it had been like going on now, which is normal anyway. Like it wasn't taking longer than it should. It was actually quite quick, the process. But basically, like March and then April, and then now in the month of May. And I know that according to the conveyancer solicitor, so a conveyancer solicitor is a specific type of lawyer who deals with the legal transfer of ownership of a house. And so you need one to be able to sell your house. So basically they've said that it can take like up to 6 months, possibly longer, for the whole process to complete. But at this point it was like around like 3 months, because we're like March, April, May, right? So it was around May. And I was like praying to the Lord, and I was saying to the Lord, Lord, is it gonna keep um like going longer and longer, this whole process? And the Lord said to me, no, it's going to be May, it's not going to go to June. So I was just believing by faith. and moving as quick as I can with communication, with the conveyancer solicitors, everybody that's attached to this whole process, like the new built team, the mortgage broker team, the house sale team. Like like it was my only job to stay on top of things, and like also like correspondence, like together with my husband, like tying everything together, his own income evidence, like all the things that is legally needed for for all of the people, all of the teams to be satisfied, that everything was going to go through and everything was going to be like successfully accepted. So now, like, we're like end of May, and I'm like, I just about tell my tenants 2 weeks before the end of May that I'm selling my house. I have to give you like 2 weeks, 2 weeks notice. And I did put in our tenancy agreement that I I would give them 2 weeks notice if that were the case on my end, where I would need to have to tell them, like for some reason to leave. So I gave them my 2 weeks notice. So yeah, and it was like, even as I was telling the tenants, like it's all like a leap of faith, because I wasn't even like sure that the house would successfully like be sold by the end, like literally the last working day of May, which was the 29th of May, a Friday. And so this is all just God. So I'm like letting go of my tenants, my sources of income, just by faith. And I'm like, okay, Lord, this is all in your hands. I'm telling them that the house is going to be sold, even though I don't have like an official completion date yet, but I'm just going to move um with the spirit of God and just trust the Lord. And so, like, lo and behold, just a few days before the 29th of May, we finally all agree, the mortgage broker, we finally miraculously have an offer from from a bank, or I think a building society, that we have a mortgage offer. Like, that's a miracle, because it was so difficult. They had a lot of things that they needed, and they, just the normal things with being self-employed. Like, most lenders will not accept your application when you're self-employed. Like, they normally look for people who are you know just this easy, simple application of being permanently employed, because like they look at it and think like no problem, but when you're self-employed, it's just a little bit unpredictable in terms of your finances, and that's their fears, the fear of the lender. But that's a miracle. It's just a miracle as well with the house, that it's there, it's still there as well and available. And like, it's just a miracle that the house sale seemed to coincide with mortgage offer being accepted and us like being ready to move out. Like, it was all just God, simultaneously working in all of these different areas, for the completion date to finally come through. So yeah. So that's all the Lord, and I don't know what else I can say. I wanted to try and make this as short as I possibly can, because I don't want to, like, just ramble for the sake of rambling. But, like, it's an exciting time. And when the Lord does an amazing miracle in your life, you just want to share it. Like, it's like as if you're bubbling with all of these details that you cannot keep to yourself. So yeah, so basically, I'm right now in our empty living room. I have not, um, I've not prioritized filling up the house with stuff as much, because I'm focusing on a business that I'm doing. So, as you can imagine, now that I don't have tenants, I really feel like this urgency to like do, a business, and obviously like this urge to want to get that going, even though like finances wise I'm fine because I've got savings from the house sale. But at the same time, it's just not me. I'm not the type to just sit around and do nothing. I'm constantly busy. I want to be doing something. I want to be working. So yeah, focusing on that. So that's why I'm not focused like really about the things inside the house. I'm just so grateful. My heart is full that we have this house, a new built house, just like what I prayed and decreed and believed God for.